What's up guys, I'm you here. Today I'll be showing you how to make my fastest, it's not the fastest, my ultra fast sea pickle farm. The materials list will be in the description, don't worry. So, you need some stuff, but you will need to get both slime and honey. Yes, you do need both slime and honey. You cannot have one type. You need to have both. So, find the center, place 3 blocks like this, and then count by 4 blocks or by 4 blocks like this, and then right here, 5 sticky pistons. Make sure they're lined up, and then do the same thing on the other side, and make sure that it's lined up correctly, bruh. So it should look like this. Then you need to take the floor right here and place pumpkins or melons right here. Then you need some slime, and then you do have to do the same on the other side, by the way. So you gotta have to alternate between slime and honey, so it should look like this, but yeah, you need to install the honey as well. Then you need to place pumpkins right here and pumpkins right there, and then some blocks, marker blocks will be like this, and then like that. So it should look like this. Obviously, you can just leave the pillar using solid blocks, but I'm just gonna make it out of glass. Anyway, so, yeah. And then, you need to fill in the platform with solid blocks, like this. And then, it's a little bit different on the right side and on the left side. So right here, you need to leave a gap right here and place solid blocks. Then you need to have the gap right here from the center. This is where the center is. So come across this where and place the sticky piston to the side. It's much easier to place it on the side than facing downward. Next, a redstone torch. 2 redstone torches right here. Get yourself redstone torches and place 2 just like that, of course. Then get your slab or solid block, and then a solid block, and then this slab. Then get your pieces of redstone dust, and this should make a clock that's a one-thing repeater clock. But before you do that, you need to actually place in some pumpkins or melons or really anything, or heavy cores if you're rich. This is just to stop the water from destroying your building, because I don't think because yeah, water can destroy all of the stuff, and maybe some can interfere in some kind of things, right? So place slabs like this, or you can also use solid blocks as well. I don't care. Just place them right here, and finally a piece of solid block right there. Then the same thing on the other side, but you wanna do it carefully. Just make sure you have to install this, and you need to install this last piece of redstone dust, and it should be synchronized. So when you flip this lever, the platform will shift really quickly. Then, from this piston arm, you're gonna have to place these glass blocks. Make it 3 blocks tall, by the way. And then you need to get these glass blocks right here and place them all over the place and make it 3 blocks tall. And this side should be 2 blocks tall. And do the same thing on the other side. So then it should be looking like sorry, I've made a mistake right here. Destroy everything. And destroy these pieces of glass as well. And you need to install these glass blocks like this. So it should be looking like this when you're done. And then you need to get an observer, dispenser dropper. So place observer right here in the 2 pieces of redstone dust, a temporary slab or maybe a solid block. Yeah. You need to have the dropper, dispenser, just like this, and then pieces of redstone dust like this. This is to bone meal the sea pickles consistently. Then get your glass blocks. You need to extend this by a block before you go into your actual water stream. You send this to whatever kind of storage you want to. Then you need to have some temporary blocks like this, and then you need to have the resin clumps right here. This is just to stop the water from flooding the whole area. Then you need to also get the blocks right here, and you also need to make it another block tall just to stop the items from flying out of the place. Then you need to install your water sources. This is the most tedious part. Place in the temporary solid blocks right here, and then every single bit of the water source, the water always goes forward, so you need to cut their connection with this, and then place in the blocks like this, and then it should look something like this. Do the same thing with these sides as well. Make sure everything's water sources, and then you need to place in the slabs, of course, and then a temporary bar of solid blocks. 1 water source right here, 1 water source right there. Yes, you do need to do this, or you can do it the other way around. So yeah, I don't care what you use. This will prevent these items from getting stuck to the middle, which you don't want to, of course. And then remove the temporary blocks and slabs. And we need to also install water sources in the very bottom. So the very bottom right here, you can see this is flowing water. If you place a slab, you can see the water flowing animation showing on the side. So you need to place water sources all over here. So water sources there, and then water sources there, there. Of course, and then last water source, and just like this, and it should be looking like this. Then your last piece of water goes right here. Now, to get all these items out of there, you can just, of course, use blue ice to send them quicker. Maybe, like, using blue ice or packed ice. I'll be using blue ice to send all these items quicker to the fire. Well, you can have a storage system, but in the video, I'll just be using fire to burn all the items. Then you need to install all of your bone meal. You need to have like these amounts of bone meal, but before you do this, you need to get yourselves coral blocks. Very important. So, remove this block and that block, place into coral blocks like this. Another coral block like there, and then another coral block there and there. Make a square and turn this into a square, and then coral blocks like this. And you also need to have the shifting platform, so you need to do this, and make sure you need to have a temporary piece of pumpkin right there. And then so when you test fire the build, before you test fire the build, you need to place bone meal in the dispenser, and then you can definitely go ahead and test fire the build. But before you do that, you need to place in at least one piece of sea pickle right there, and the issue is good enough. So what's going on right here is that the coral blocks are dying, which you don't want this to happen. But if this does happen to you, you need to make sure that there's no air blocks surrounding the coral blocks. So there should not be air blocks underneath these coral blocks where your sensors gonna run all around like that stuff. And then all of the sea pickles are gonna be dumped into this area. And then so for your storage, like you could have like another dropper right here, but you don't actually need a dropper right there. But if you want to, sorry, because you don't actually need a dropper, you could just use some whatever kinds of storage system, and then place a hopper in the chest if you want this to just be poor, of course. But of course, you will be needing a dropper if you want to keep up with the storage. So if you want to have the 2 times storage, you can use another dropper right there and get a piece of these blocks and another dropper right there, and then you can finally insert your hoppers on both sides. So I won't be doing that, but you could just replace the dropper with the solid block and the hopper next to the dispenser behind it. But yeah, this farm is really fast. You need 2 hopper lines just to keep up with this. It just double hopper speed. Look at this. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.